What's going on, everyone? So one of the teams that I thought makes a lot of sense as a potential trade partner for the Los Angeles Lakers are the Orlando Magic. They have an abundance of sizable forwards and wings and the point of attack guards and like a Jalen Suggs, and then also big men. Right? Lakers need big men. Can they find a way to get a Jalen Suggs, Wendell Carter Jr., Isaac, Jonathan Isaac, right? Like they have multiple guys. Even a KCP, I wouldn't hate to go and acquire and bring back to the Lakers. He had his best years with the Lakers, saw it alongside LeBron James. Well, now he has LeBron James and Luka that are going to be able to set him up, right? So the Orlando Magic are a team that I really like the idea, but one guy that the Lakers are expected to be linked to this upcoming offseason, as well as has been linked to in the past, is Wendell Carter Jr. Right? And Wendell Carter Jr. would be awesome. I've talked about a guy that can play the 4, play the 5, big, physical, interior size. Love if the Lakers could land a Wendell Carter Jr. Well, there is a trade proposal going around this time of the season, right? We're not officially into the offseason, so they're all just kind of ideas. This one came from Sports Illustrated. Right. And it's funny, like Sports Illustrated has been putting a bunch of like trade proposals out and stuff like that. And they all involve the Atlanta Hawks, which I think is funny. It's kind of just the third team because all these teams are, apron teams, right? So Atlanta's a team that can kind of be the middleman, get some free assets, stuff like that to be that. So it makes sense, but it's just like there's other teams you can use other than Atlanta. I just think that's funny. Just kind of a little side note. But I wanted to go into this trade proposal. Obviously, hear your thoughts and opinions. I will give my thoughts and opinions on this trade proposal. But Wendell Carter Jr. is a guy I would absolutely love to see the Lakers go and acquire. So, getting right into it, right? Lakers receive Wendell Carter Jr., obviously, right? The Atlanta Hawks would receive Jet Howard, right? So just kind of give them a young player in peace. Orlando would receive Dalton Knecht, Jared Vanderbilt, 2027 second round pick via Atlanta from Cleveland, a 2031 top 8 protected pick via the Lakers, and a 2031 second round pick via Atlanta, right? And again, Lakers would receive Wendell Carter Jr., and then Atlanta would receive Jet Howard. Now, personally, again, talk about it, right? That is too much for the Lakers to give up, right? If it was Jared Vanderbilt and Dalton Knecht, right, then fine, right? But you're not giving up even a top 8 protected pick. You're not giving up your only first plus Dalton Knecht, literally your 2 best trade out assets outside of Austin Reeves for a Wendell Carter Jr. I don't think it would even cost that to go get Wendell Carter Jr., right? If you had to give up Jared Vanderbilt for it, obviously, I like Jared Vanderbilt a lot. I'd love to keep Jared Vanderbilt around, but, Wendell Carter Jr. is just more of a need. Right. And so if they're a team that's like, oh, we really need, to wing, perimeter defense, we want a guy like Jared, then fine, so be it. Right. You look at Wendell Carter Jr., he's 26 years old. So he's a young piece that you could have for now and the future. I'm all for getting Wendell Carter Jr., but you also can't overpay for Wendell Carter Jr. And I feel like that's an overpay. If it was, you told me it was Dalton Knecht and Jared Vanderbilt, and then, maybe even a pick swap, but I think even at that point, it's a little too much, right? Like, my thing is, again, Lakers have to be very selective. And you look at kind of what's going to happen with Wendell Carter Jr. So you look at this season coming up, right? He's going to be making roughly $18 million. He has a extension that's going to kick in 2026, 2027. He'll be making $18.1 million. 2027, 2028, he'll be making $19.5 million. And then in 2028, 2029, he has a club option for just a hair under, literally a hair under $21 million. So again, he's a guy that is cheap enough for the Lakers to go and acquire, right? That's why Jared Vanderbilt plus Dalton Knecht could go get Wendell Carter Jr., right? So Lakers could go and easily acquire him, right? If it's something where you're doing like maybe a top 8 first plus, Shake Milton and Jared Vanderbilt, because you're kind of getting off of Jared Vanderbilt's long-term money. Shake Milton's on a non-guaranteed contract, and then they're getting a first for the deal, right? Then maybe something like that. Because again, Wendell Carter, I love Wendell Carter. He'd be great to have. But he's not like the absolute ideal scenario for the Lakers, right? He's a guy that, can play power forward, play center. He's got great size, right? He's 6'10". He has like a 7'5" wingspan. So he has all the tools that you want, 270. He's a guy that can bang with the big boys. I would love to have Wendell Carter Jr. He is versatile, right? He's not just limited to around the rim, but he's also not like the ideal center that you want slotted alongside Luka, right? He made a ton of sense when you had Anthony Davis and LeBron, right? Because it's like he's a guy that can spread out a little bit, right? Knock down. He's not limited to just around the rim. He's not really a great three-point shooter. He's a career 31.6% three-point shooter, although he has had seasons. Not last year. Last year he was 23.4%, but it was also the fewest attempts he's taken in 5 years. But you look at the previous year, 2023, 2024, on 3.1 attempts, he shot 37.4% from three-point range, and then the year before that, on 4 attempts, shot 36% from three-point range. So if he can be 35, 36% from three-point range, right, that would be ideal. But he made more sense alongside LeBron because LeBron likes kind of the spacing, right? He likes to be able to put his head down, get to the basket, and then kick out to shooters and stuff like that. And then if you would have had Anthony Davis, right, he's a guy that could have slotted in right alongside Anthony Davis. Boom. It would have been a nice plug-in. But for Luka, again, he's not really that lob threat. I mean, he can obviously catch lobs. He's a 7'5" wingspan. He can essentially dunk standing up. But, he's a guy that is to me very versatile, and I'd love to have. Could slot him, play the 4, play the 5. You can slot him even alongside. Like, let's say you go get Clint Capella for the bench. You could slot Wendell Carter Jr. and Clint Capella alongside each other, right? Those are two guys that could be excellent. But also, Wendell Carter Jr. as like your defensive anchor, right, on the interior is not great. Right? It made sense because you would have had Anthony Davis, so Anthony Davis still would have been your interior anchor, right? Wendell Carter Jr. can hold his own. He's not a terrible defender, but he's not, what you'd be looking for from like a Nick Claxton defensively, right? I do like the size of Wendell Carter Jr. I do like the offensive versatility that Wendell Carter Jr. provides. If you can get him at the right price, absolutely, right? If you can get Wendell Carter Jr. for the right price, go get that done, right? If it's Jared Vanderbilt and Dalton Connect, perfect. Be all for it. If you have to throw in a pick swap or something like that, then fine, sure, right? Beggars can't be choosers. You gotta take what you can get. He's young enough to be a foundation piece for now and the future. Or if you're doing a bigger package, right? Like let's say you're getting a Jalen Suggs and a Wendell Carter Jr. and you're giving up, multiple guys, and then okay, now we're talking. Right? Because now you got your point of attack 3-and-D guard that you can slot alongside Luka for the next 10 years. And now you got Wendell Carter Jr. that you can slot in at the 4 or the 5. When LeBron leaves, you can just slide him over to the 4, go bring in, another center, whatever. Maybe it's a guy you drafted or traded for or signed, whatever. And then now you're just looking for a 3-and-D wing. If the right deal is there, then fine, so be it. I would love to go and acquire that. But I don't want to overpay for Wendell Carter Jr. I think he's a great player. I think he's a guy that could really make an impact for the Lakers, right? He's on a down year. He didn't have a great season last year, right? It's just questions. But let's get into what he's done. What kind of impact can we expect? Like I said, last year was a down year. Last year was not a great year for him. 68 games played, started in 51. Averaged just a hair under 26 minutes per game. Shot 46% from the floor on 7.2 attempts, right? Which was the fewest he's taken, or is actually his fewest of his career, right? So again, his production went down a lot too. But they also had like all their big guys back, which is why it makes sense to kind of move off of Wendell Carter Jr. But shot 46% from the field, again, on 7.2 attempts. Three-point range, 23.4% on 2.3 attempts, which, again, was the fewest that he's taken since the 2020-2021 season. And then two-point range, 56.8%, which is, again, one of the lowest. It's the third lowest of his career, fourth lowest of his career. You look at the last 2 previous years, shot 62.6% and then 62.4% and then 61.5%, all on higher attempts. Free throw shooting, last year he was 73.7%. He is a career 73% free throw shooter on 3 attempts, so a good free throw shooter, which is good. It's what you want. Rebounding. Last year, he averaged 7.2 rebounds, 2 assists. We'll round up a steal, a block, and 9 points per game. Now, if you look at the previous few years, he gave you 15 points, 15.2 points, and 11 points when he was actually getting more production, which I do believe he would on the Lakers. So he's basically a 15-9 guy, right? if he's given the field goal attempts an opportunity, which is around 11 field goal attempts per game. So basically, if you give him 11 attempts per game, he can get you around 15 points, grab 8 boards, get you, roughly a steal and a block per game. It's a little shy, but he can be that impact guy. If you look at his per 36 numbers, last year was 12.7 points with 10 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.1 steals, and a block per game. So again, he's a guy per 36 that is a 16 and 11 guy for his career. But you look at the previous years, he would have been like an 18 and 11 and an 18 and almost 13 guy back in the 2021-2022 season. So again, I would love to bring in a Wendell Carter Jr. I think he's a guy that makes a ton of sense. Lakers cannot overpay for Wendell Carter Jr. And in my opinion, Dalton Connect plus a first, even top 8 protected. It could be like, top 20 protected. I still think that's too much, right? Lakers have other needs, other things that need to be solved, other things that get resolved. And I don't think it would cost that much to go get just Wendell Carter Jr. Now, if you're talking Wendell Carter Jr. and a Jalen Suggs or, a Jonathan Isaac, and, if you're getting 2-3 guys from the Orlando Magic, and then now, yes, I understand. Like if you got Jalen Suggs and Wendell Carter Jr., I can understand, okay, Dalton Connect plus the first round pick. Jalen Suggs is one of the better two-way guards in this league, and he's young. He's, 22, 23 years old, something like that. I can understand. I can get it. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Well, what do you think? If it were your thoughts, do you agree with me, disagree with me? Do you think like, no, give up whatever you have to for Wendell Carter? Do you think like, no, that'd be too much of an overpay? Love to hear it down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.